I graduated from John Marshall Law School, not with honors. A lot of my friends with honors. I worked in the steel mills through law school and undergrad when I got out of the United States Navy. After I graduated from law school, I started working for Jacobson Maynard in Columbus, traveling around, meeting doctors and experts from all over the country. It was a great experience for me. I made a decision to leave the practicing of law in 1990 or 1984. I'm proud to say that I think I am one of the top vote getters on our court system in Cuyahoga County since I first ran in 1992. And why I'm number whatever, I don't know. And it's because of the people I associate myself with, because you are who you hang around with. You are who you associate yourself with. And I went to the Democratic Party and they said, no, we're not going to let you run for a vacant seat. You have to beat somebody. I ran against a sitting judge, Judge Porter, in my court, the 8th District. He was a Republican and I was a Democrat. And I ran against him. We had a party every year at Christmas time. And I'm up at the party, and I go up to the party, and all of us, there were 34 of us common pleas judges at the time. I went up to the party, and sure enough, who do I run into first? And I saw Judge Porter, and I looked, and I turned, I went, oh my God, Judge Porter's here. And he goes, Celebrezze, he says, come here. And he was saying, congratulations on your victory. He said to me, and I'll never forget this, he goes, I just wish you hadn't beaten me so bad. And I turned to him and I gave him a hug and a shake and I said, I only wanted to beat you by one vote, Judge. That I had no intention of beating you like I did, and I don't know how bad I beat him. But that's what he said. I just wish it wasn't so bad. That was Judge Porter. It's an honor and a privilege to serve the people of Cuyahoga County. We as appellate judges, we work for the state of Ohio, and so we all have to answer, all judges, to the Ohio Supreme Court. They do the policing of us, of the judges. It's an honor and a privilege to be known as Frank Daniel Celebrezze III, the third generation of judges that have been judges in our city. My grandfather, Frank D. Celebrezze, my grandfather was the first Italian-born judge in the city of Cleveland. Personally, I worked for both Democrats and Republicans, and I never looked at people as their party. I always looked at them by who they are and what they wrote. Being a judge. I love making decisions. I love following the law, and I hate people that don't. I'm sorry. I don't like my opinions, I hope, are expressed through stare decisis, the written law in our Constitution. And I'm a firm believer in the Constitution of the United States. You know why? And I ask people this all the time. Do you know when the 1 millionth individual that wore a uniform, man or woman, the 1 millionth person that died in the uniform of a United States veteran? Most people don't know, but it was in Afghanistan. The 1 millionth individual that wore a uniform, like I did for 6 years and 4 months with the United States Navy, serving in a communist country during Vietnam. I love to see my grandchildren. I love to see my daughters. I have 2 daughters that have 5 grandchildren, and that's what life is all about. When I retire, it's 40 minutes to see Christina, and 37 minutes to see Nicole. So my grandchildren and children are right in the middle of where I'm going to be. So everything in my life will be about my children, grandchildren, and serving, still serving the people as a retired judge. Following the Constitution. It's not my Constitution. When I was a young man, every judge that my dad worked with and that sat in common pleas in the Court of Appeals, every one of them were veterans of World War II. And I served our country, and I'm proud to follow the law. I don't like it sometimes. I never said to myself, I'm not going to write that opinion, but I have to, because it's what I've sworn on the Constitution to uphold stare decisis, and that is the written law. Be a people person? I never knew I was a people person. Uh, I look back in my career as a person, as growing up in a family of 9 with a first generation Italian dad and a first generation Scottish mom. And boy, that love was never ending. They're both up in heaven, and I know they're both proud of me, and they're both proud of what we do and what I stand for. Be prepared. Young attorneys, be prepared for what you're going to do in front of a jury. I tried jury cases as a lawyer. I never lost a case because I had a guy named Jerome Kaler, who was a partner in my law firm of Jacobson Maynard. And but for him, listening to him, picking juries, picking people, it was only 8 people in civil. In criminal, there's 12. So, it's good to be able to look at your experience as a lawyer and as working with people. They're the best in the world, and I don't care what anybody says. The 8th District, I'm sorry, I am prejudiced against the 8th District. We all know each other. We work together. We've worked together since I've been here. I've seen a lot of people. Judge Jones just recently passed away. He was one of my brothers on this court. And whenever we were talking about him this morning. Colleagues and staff, thank you very much, because without you, I wouldn't be who I am today. Be prepared, know the system, follow the system, and follow the law. And leave it up to the jury, because we, as a trial judge, every piece of evidence that we gave to the jury had to go through the trial judge. And I had to determine what the jury would see, the evidence. They see the evidence from the defendants and the witnesses on the stand. They're sitting in the courtroom, but they don't see the law. And we have to, as a common pleas court judge, I was prepared civilly to do that job, and I jumped into it, and I did the job. I loved common pleas court. I loved people. I loved being around. I had no idea we were going to be as quiet in this court as we are. I went out to lunch with my dad one day. We went out try to go out every week, one day with his brother, a domestic judge. And so I'll never forget it. I jumped in my dad's car right at the corner of Ontario, right in front of the courthouse here. My dad picked me up, and when I was a common pleas judge, and we drove by, and there was a fella standing on the corner. And I walked over to my dad's car to get in. He said, Judge Frank, come here. He goes, you need to come over to the Court of Appeals. Judge Michael Corrigan. Michael Corrigan. He said to me, Judge, you need to come over here. He was the one that started making me think maybe I should come over here because of my experience in the field of stare decisis and the Constitution, and my compassion for real people. Judge Michael Corrigan said, and I got to come over here. I'll never forget that. And I did. And I've been here ever since. I'm proud of what we do. My staff of attorneys have been fantastic, every single one of them. My administrative assistants, Susie Moore, and now Katie Berry, are what this system's all about. Following protocol, following precedent, following stare decisis. It's who we are. They help me hire people, and I have the best team of attorneys. I shouldn't say this, but I have the best attorneys I've ever had, and I've had the top, but the two attorneys that I have now, they are so experienced. Kate Chrisman is my chief attorney in my court. Candace Wava, she's a fantastic young lawyer, but she is so smart also. Katie Berry keeps everything in line. You are who you associate yourself with, Darren. That's the bottom line. If you associate yourself with bad people, you're going to be associated with bad people. I try to associate myself only with good people.